Chapter 621, Genius of the Generation. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Who's that? An acute spiritual chi emanated from the silvery full moon. Is it the esteemed presence of a half-saint? All the evil cultivator at the Quicksand Canyon who saw the silvery full moon in the sky could distinctly feel the streams of holy chi emanating from it, urging them to surrender themselves. Only a half-saint would possess such a terrifying holy aura. Swoosh! The sound of footsteps rang out. The evil cultivators at the bottom of the gorge wielded some bodily movements to jump onto the steep walls of the gorge, so they were standing behind Red Wish Emissary. Each of them took out their genuine martial arms respectively, injecting genuine chi into them, and focused their vision to the sky as if they were faced with a great enemy. If it really was the esteemed presence of a half-saint, they would protect Red Wish Emissary at all cost, even if it meant sacrificing their lives. Red Wish Emissary was also gazing at the sky. When she saw the silhouette of a person with the silvery full moon as backdrop, her facial expression changed as she muttered the name, Sylvan Moon. Why would she come to the Eastern Evil Land? Sylvan Moon, could she be the traitor? It was not until this instant that the evil cultivators finally realized this person's identity. The evil dominator elders, Shi Buchu and Xihong, were all even more surprised because they were fully aware of how terrifying Sylvan Moon could be. No one would be able to resist Sylvan Moon if she had set her mind to hurt Red Wish Emissary. They were no match for Sylvan Moon even if the two of them combined efforts. Sylvan Moon, who possessed an innate lunar body, used to be the first emissary handpicked by the Black Market Excellence Hall. Although she is not a saintly being, she was by no means inferior to any saintly being in the same realm. Moreover, she possessed high comprehension ability that enabled her to cultivate martial techniques within a much shorter time than saintly beings. She was deemed a rare genius of her generation. However, Sylvan Moon became a traitor to the black market because she could not see eye to eye with the black market on certain matters. Thus she became black market's public enemy. The black market dispatched a large number of masters to assassinate her, but instead, they were the ones who were killed by her. Among the Masters Guild, there were even some saint and half-saint successors. Through that blood chase, she had ultimately severed all ties with the black market. Subsequently, Sylvan Moon escaped hiding from the East Region Saint cities, building up an army named Silver Sky Mercenary Group, and having trained them over a period of almost 20 years, she had become a dominator of that region. One could safely say that there were countless gods' favored sons who could not catch up to Sylvan Moon in terms of their abilities and innate talents in cultivation. Earlier on, DE led the 7 Kills emissary to the East Region Saint City with a carefully mapped plan to annihilate Sylvan Moon. Zhang Yuochen participated in the event. He witnessed with his own eyes how a great number of the members of the Silver Sky Mercenary Group was killed by the Glazed Knight's spear. Almost half of the Silver Sky Mercenary Group fell on that day. The Sylvan Moon's hatred for DE was even more severe than Zhang Yuochen's. What a strong spiritual chi. Sylvan Moon probably possesses the capability of a half-saint. Although Zhang Yuochen could see that Sylvan Moon had yet broken through the half-saint realm, her capabilities had already surpassed that of monks who had reached the 9th change in the fish-dragon realm. The circle of the silvery full moon in the sky was, in fact, her martial soul. A silver moon martial soul that was very rare. Once the martial soul of the silvery moon was sufficiently powerful, the martial soul progressed to become divine soul. That would be the time Sylvan Moon broke through to the half-saint realm. When the divine soul of Sylvan Moon was suspended in the mid-air, it closely resembled an actual moon. It could lit up an area spanning 1,000 miles. Apparently, Sylvan Moon's martial soul had yet to reach that level. Red Wish Emissary, were you the one who sent word for me to rush to Eastern Evil Land so I could fight DE with you? Said Sylvan Moon as she glared at Red Wish Emissary. Red Wish Emissary appeared puzzled as she did not send any message to Sylvan Moon. A clear voice sounded. It was me. Zhang Yuochen stepped forward and walked towards the edge of the cliff. All eyes were on Zhang Yuochen. Everyone was surprised. Even Mu Lingxi, who knew Zhang Yuochen best, looked perplexed. She would never have expected Zhang Yuochen to know Sylvan Moon at all. The Red Wish Emissary was even more surprised. She was puzzled. Her doubts of Jiang Yuochen intensified. Silver Moon shifted her gaze and was fixated at Jiang Yuochen. Her eyes became illuminated as if they were two glistening stars in the silvery full moon. Two light beams emerged from her pupils which instantly allowed her to see through Jiang Yuochen's metal mask. Although Silver Moon had almost attained the half-saint level of cultivation, which meant she possesses a calm attitude, she was still taken aback the instant she saw Jiang Yuochen's true self. "Could I have a word with you privately?" A jet of holy chi went out like a stream of water as Silver Moon waved a hand in the air. It extended over 10 miles towards Jiang Yuochen and swept him up in a whirl and sent him flying away. "You can't take him away." Mu Lingxi, worried about Jiang Yuochen's safety, pursued after him. Red Wish Emissary gave Xihong look and he immediately leapt up into the air with the intention to rescue Jiang Yuochen. Silver Moon turned around to have a look, then she gently waved her hand to stir up a gust of strong wind that blew on Mu Lingxi and Xihong and pushed them backward. Monks who reached the 9th change in the Fish Dragon realm are vulnerable to Silver Moon. If she had the intent to injure, she could have severely injured Mu Lingxi and Xihong striking out a moment ago. By the time Mu Lingxi and Xihong regained their footing, Silver Moon and Jiang Yuochen were nowhere to be seen. No one knew where they went. That despicable Silver Moon, how dare she snatch Jiang Yuochen away from me? Mu Lingxi's eyes turned wide like saucers, and she gritted her teeth in rage. After a while, Silver Moon and Jiang Yuochen came to the top of a desolated mountain and landed on it simultaneously. Silver Moon, who was tall and lanky, exuberated a cold and aloof temperament. She had long silver hair and was wearing combat boots and armor, bearing her midriff and long legs. She focused her silver pupils on Jiang Yuochen and said, "This is unbelievable. How did a dead man come back to life?" With one hand on his back, Jiang Yuochen took off the mask on his face with the other hand. He looked towards the red sun as it was rising and said, "How did you see through my mask? Do you really think you could hide your identity with just a mask? Do you think I am blind?" Silver Moon exuberated a heroic spirit and rolled her eyes at Jiang Yuochen. "I had used my spiritual power on the mask so that no ordinary people have no way of seeing through me." Silver Moon replied, "How about the eyes of a half-saint?" Jiang Yuochen glanced at her and suddenly came to a realization. He smiled and said, "I guess it's not surprising since you have already attained the eyes of a half-saint. You are not far from achieving the half-saint realm. It's not as easy as you think. It may look like I am just a step away, but in reality, there's a huge gap that I have to cross. Once I cross over this chasm, it will be a great leap for me. However, if I can't cross over, I will be stuck in the 9th change in the Fish Dragon realm for life." Silver Moon glanced at Jiang Yuochen and said, "Let's talk about you. How are you still alive? I'm so curious. Someone you thought to be dead may not have died after all. Someone you thought was still alive may not be living anymore," Jiang Yuochen said with a smile. Silver Moon got that Jiang Yuochen did not want to talk about it, so she stopped asking. "I am aware that Di Yi and Red Wish Emissary were fighting for the position of the young master. This indeed is a good opportunity to kill Di Yi." Silver Moon got down to talk about business. "However, if the high-level management people from the black market found out that I have come to Eastern Evil Land, they would send a half-saint to interfere. We need to hurry if we want to strike." "I think so too. Let's start moving now. Once we kill Di Yi, I have to flee Eastern Evil Land immediately." Di Yi was a person with special status. The news of his death would shake the entire Eastern Evil Land. One should never underestimate any strike back from the black market. Silver Moon asked again, "Do you know where Di Yi is?" "Yes, I do. Did you plan any strategy or lay out any ambush?" Jiang Yuochen stared at her and said, "That's for sure, but I still have to discuss with Red Wish Emissary. After all, Red Willow Heights, where Emperor Di is now, used to be Red Wish Emissary's old home. If we can make use of the villas array in the villas, we can eliminate most of the obstacles to kill Di Yi." Silver Moon nodded, took a bloody bag, tossed it to Jiang Yuochen and said, "I am a traitor to the black market, so I am quite certain that Red Wish Emissary would not trust me. However, it may make things easier if you pass this gift to her." Perplexed, Jiang Yuochen took over the parcel and opened it to take a look. Inside the parcel was a bloody human head, which after careful examination, Zhang Yuochen realized that it belonged to Cyan-robed emissary, who had tried to escape earlier on. Sylvan Moon killed Cyan-robed emissary? Even Zhang Yuochen was surprised as he drew in a breath of icing air. I actually met her on my way. What a coincidence. Sylvan Moon said with indifference. Zhang Yuochen retied the parcel and smiled, saying, it was fate that a saintly being was to die like this. It was very unlucky for Cyan-robed emissary to bump into you. Do you want to go back with me? The Sylvan Moon shook her head. No way. I'm a traitor to the black market. We would get into conflicts with Red Wish emissary since she belongs to the black market. Don't worry, I will stay close and show myself if the need arises. Zhang Yuochen nodded his head and knew not to push her further. He put on his mask again, was about to leave when he suddenly stopped in his tracks. He turned around and glanced at Sylvan Moon saying, are you able to keep my secret for me? How does it affect me whether you are alive or dead? Sylvan Moon asked in return. Then she quickly continued, however, since I owe you a personal favor, can keeping this secret be counted as me paying you back?